In every corner of Africa, stories breathe, tales buried in dust, whispered through firelight. You're about to hear one of them. Welcome to African Horror Stories. Mauritius Folklore. Never look at her feet. There are some roads in Mauritius that people avoid after dark, not because they are broken, not because they are unsafe, but because of what waits there in the silence. If you ask the older ones, they won't laugh. They won't even try to explain it away. They will just tell you one thing. If you ever find yourself driving alone at night and you see a woman standing by the road, do not stop. And whatever you do, do not look at her feet. Daniel had heard the stories before. Everyone had. Stories told in passing, half-jokes shared between friends, old warnings buried under laughter. He never believed any of it, not really. To him, they were just stories, the kind people told to make ordinary places feel dangerous, to give the dark a personality. That night, he wished he had listened. It was close to midnight when Daniel started the drive home. The road stretched long and empty ahead of him, cutting through fields of sugarcane that swayed gently under the night wind. The sky was cloudless, but the moon offered little comfort. Its light barely touched the narrow road, leaving long stretches swallowed in shadow. There were no other cars, no distant headlights, no signs of life. Just the steady hum of his engine and the quiet rhythm of tires against asphalt. He had taken this road before. It was the fastest way home. But that night, something felt wrong. Not in a way he could explain, just wrong. The air felt heavier, the silence deeper, like the world had gone still and forgotten to move again. He adjusted himself in his seat, rolling his shoulders as if that would shake the feeling away. It didn't. The deeper he drove into the road, the more the unease settled in. Even the wind seemed to fade. The sugarcane fields, once alive with soft movement, now stood almost completely still, watching, waiting. And then he saw her. At first, she looked like nothing more than a shape in the distance, a pale figure standing at the edge of the road. Daniel narrowed his eyes, leaning forward slightly, as if that would help him see more clearly. As he got closer, the shape became clearer. A woman. She stood with her back to him, dressed entirely in white. The fabric of her dress flowed softly down to the ground, unmoving despite the breeze. She wasn't waving, she wasn't pacing, she wasn't even turning to look at him. She just stood there, perfectly still. Daniel slowed the car. His foot hovered uncertainly over the brake. No one should be out here this late, not alone, not on this road. For a moment, he considered driving past her, just continuing on, pretending he hadn't seen anything. But something held him there, a quiet sense of obligation, the kind that makes people stop for strangers even when something doesn't feel right. He sighed softly and pressed the brake. The car rolled to a stop beside her. "Are you okay?" he called out, lowering his window slightly. For a second, nothing happened. Then, She moved. Slowly, she turned her head. Then her body followed. The movement was smooth, too smooth, like something rehearsed. When she finally faced him, Daniel felt his breath catch. She was beautiful. Not just pretty, perfect. Her skin was pale and flawless, her features soft and delicate, as though carved with impossible precision. Her eyes met his and held them. There was something strange in them, something empty. "I'm trying to get home," she said. Her voice was soft, almost gentle, but there was something off about it. It didn't quite match her lips, didn't quite match the moment. "Can you help me?" she asked. Daniel hesitated, just for a second. A small voice in the back of his mind whispered something, a warning. Leave, go, don't stay here. But he ignored it. Of course he did. People always do. "Yeah," he said, unlocking the door. "Get in." She stepped forward. The movement was slow, controlled. Her dress brushed lightly against the ground as she walked, hiding her feet completely. Daniel didn't think anything of it, not yet. She opened the door and slid into the passenger seat. The moment she did, the air changed. It became colder. Not the kind of cold you feel on your skin, something deeper, something that settled into your bones. Daniel stiffened slightly, his fingers tightening on the steering wheel. He told himself it was nothing, just his imagination. "Where do you live?" he asked, trying to sound normal. "Not far," she replied. Her voice was quieter now, almost distant. Daniel nodded and pulled the car back onto the road. They drove in silence, the kind of silence that feels heavier with each second. Daniel kept his eyes fixed on the road ahead, but he could feel her beside him, not moving, not shifting, just there. After a while, he risked a glance. She was staring straight ahead, smiling, but not at anything he could see. He quickly looked back at the road, a chill running down his spine. Something wasn't right. They passed a small cluster of houses, dark windows, closed doors, the kind of place that sleeps early and wakes before the sun. As the car moved past, a dog began to bark, then another, then another. The sound rose quickly, sharp and aggressive. One of the dogs ran towards the road, stopping just short of the headlights. It barked loudly, then suddenly froze. Its ears flattened, its body lowered, and it began to whimper. Daniel frowned. The dog backed away slowly, its eyes locked on the car.
Or not the car. On her. A cold feeling settled deeper in his chest. "Do you hear that?" he asked quietly. She didn't respond. He glanced at her again. She was still smiling, but now she was looking at him. Daniel's grip tightened on the steering wheel. "How much further?" he asked. "Soon," she said. The word lingered in the air longer than it should have. The road ahead seemed darker now. The headlights didn't reach as far. The edges of the world felt closer. Daniel swallowed hard. Something told him to stop the car, to get out, to run, but he didn't. Because fear doesn't always make people act. Sometimes it freezes them. And then he saw it. It happened in the smallest way, the kind of detail most people would miss. Her dress shifted slightly as the car turned, just enough, just for a second. And in that second, Daniel saw her foot. It wasn't human. It bent at the wrong angle. The shape was distorted, narrow, dark, like something that didn't belong in this world. A hoof. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. His heart slammed violently against his chest. Slowly, very slowly, he lifted his eyes. She was already looking at him. Her smile had changed. It was wider now, too wide. "You saw it," she whispered. The voice no longer sounded human. The car engine stuttered, the lights flickered, the road ahead disappeared into darkness. Daniel tried to press the accelerator. Nothing happened. His hands shook violently as he fumbled with the controls. "Please," he muttered, "I'll let you out, just—" Her hand moved. It rested gently on his arm. Ice. Pure ice. "Too late," she said. The lights went out. The world vanished. And then there was nothing. The next morning, they found Daniel's car by the side of the road. The door was still open. The engine was cold. His phone lay on the driver's seat. The screen cracked, still recording. But Daniel was gone. They searched for him, for hours, then days. They found nothing. No footprints, no signs of struggle, no trace at all. It was as if he had simply disappeared. People stopped using that road after dark. Some refused to speak about it at all. Others told warnings, quietly, carefully, because sometimes, late at night, drivers still report seeing someone, a woman, standing by the roadside, dressed in white, perfectly still, waiting. And those who claim they saw her all say the same thing. She never walks. She just appears closer than she should be, watching, smiling, wearing the same dress, waiting for someone new to stop. And if you ever see her standing there alone on that empty road, keep driving. Don't slow down. Don't speak. Don't look at her face. And whatever you do, do not look at her feet.
That's all for today. If you liked the video, let me know by hitting like. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more. You can watch another video of mine right here. See you next time.